What is your business here? This is Salt Town, the foremost trading hub in the frontier. You are entering neutral ground for all factions. So be it. We'll open the gate for you, but watch yourself. Any funny business and we will not hesitate to kill you.
Have a blessed day.
Stay out of trouble.
Please be okay, Annie. Oh, sorry. Did you need something? This is the trading hall. The merchant over there can give you anything you need, as long as you can afford it. That would be the foreman. He's one of the smartest people I know. He's also a massive asshole. Don't tell anyone I said that, you hear? He works us to the bone. All day, every day. We don't get any breaks besides lunch and medical emergencies. Even then, fixing you up costs too much, he'll kick you to the curb. The first foreman treated us a lot better. Granted, we wouldn't be as rich as we are now if he was still here. Still, it's hard to say if the trade was worth it or not sometimes. I'm a miner. You can tell from the uniform. We all wear them. Well, everyone except Whitehead. Oh, right. Well, this is Salt Town. The name says it all, really. We make salt and then sell it to everyone else. It's hard work and the guards never leave us alone, but hey, it's home. It was a mining outpost before the war. Most of us worked here. When the bombs fell, we all took shelter in the mines. What we didn't know was that our bosses have been dumping toxic waste down there, which is how we ended up like this. We adapted pretty quickly, all things considered. Built a place for ourselves here, even elected a foreman to lead us. Eventually, he died. Now we're here. Backbreaking, soul-crushing. We aren't paid in caps. Our payment is the privilege of working here. It's not much better outside the mine. The foreman's rules are extremely restrictive. Can't even fall in love. If you break them, you'll get exiled. Or worse. That might have been an option at the start, but not anymore. The only place for a ghoul in Portland now is as a merc, or as a brainwashed cult member. Compared to that, we have it pretty good here. The superpowers don't bother us, and all of our meals are hot. I can think of worse places to be. Yeah, sure. We aren't supposed to talk to visitors. Another one of the foreman's rules. Oh, you heard that. How much did you? Never mind. Annie. She's my partner. She's trapped inside the mine, but no one is willing to go down and find her. You actually want to know? Well, it started like any other day. Only we were working in a wing that had been closed off a few years ago. See, the toxic waste that turned us into ghouls also mutated the ants living in the cave. They became gigantic, and they gained a taste for human flesh. The first foreman, had the idea to shove the waste barrels into the ant mounds. Then we closed off the wing and waved them out. That worked, or we thought it did, until now. Turns out the ants were still there. The only difference was that they were glowing now. Most of us managed to get away, but Annie, she stayed behind to cover us. She still hasn't come out. I'm worried the ants got her. She could be in danger, or she could be. Why would he? To him, there's no point in sending guards down there to rescue one miner. We're meant to be disposable. Because the foreman made it clear that no one is allowed in that wing until the mercs he hired showed up. But it'll take too long for them to get here. Annie doesn't have that much time. What? Oh, no, she's not. The foreman is strictly forbidden romantic relationships between miners. We're just good friends, that's all. The same reason the foreman does anything. Caps. Leaving that wing closed was just wasting potential profit. At least that's how he saw it. Lately he's been having us push deeper and deeper into the mine. This only happened because he's pushing us too fast. He'll collapse the whole mine if he isn't careful. You will? I don't know what to say. Thank you. And good luck.
You've come to the right place. If you're looking for the finest in military arms, ammunition or explosives, or anything in between, Salttown can provide, if you have the caps. Why would I tell you who I am? No sane man would go around telling everyone who they are. All that you need to know is I sell everything you need. I'm a purveyor of the highest grade equipment in the entire frontier. My weapons are hand-checked by me, and are sold at reasonable prices. Each weapon comes with a guarantee to kill. If it doesn't kill, you can bring it back to me, and I'll repair it. Assuming you have the caps. I have everything you could possibly need. That's what they all say. You'll be back.
No one sees the foreman unless they have an appointment. And you stumbling in here makes me think you don't. He's our boss. He handles all the alliances between the factions here and also handles punishment. Let me tell you, don't be on the other side. He's a fucking cold and clever fellow. I've never had a better boss. He's not all that talkative. That is unless you're talking business. No, get out of my face. No one sees the foreman. Fine, go on in.
You, sit, please, and thank you. I admire either your confidence or your stupidity to lie directly to my personal office guard. Which one is it? I can appreciate a person who takes risks. And risks that could cost you your life. I am the foreman, the mayor, if you will, of Salt Town. I run the high-level activities that go on in the area, as well as handle the intergroup relations. Salt Town was, and still is, a mining colony. Back before the war, this place was known as the Halogen Salt Mines. It was run by the Halogen Mineral Company, but when the bombs dropped, the miners who were still working hurried deep into the mine's levels. However, their safety was misplaced. Turns out, some abandoned levels of the mine had been used to store radioactive waste. They experienced the same ghoulification that the surface dwellers experienced. They still work for us. Our miners are some of the hardest working men you've ever seen. Maybe because they don't know they're practically immortal. In any case, they continue mining salt, earning food and water, and all the luxuries you can think of for a miner in a cave. They aren't ones to be messed with, that's for certain. Bartering, trading, exchanging of goods and services for currency. In this case, we took advantage of our ample salt supply. We control the entire salt supply for the frontier. Because of this, we can acquire some very lucrative deals with factions. We also scoured the frontier for many years before the NCR ever arrived, and we uncovered many pre-war bunkers and caches. No, I don't give out work to strangers. My gods are more than capable of doing any work I need. Yes, goodbye.
Shouldn't you be working? Wait, you're a visitor. What are you doing in the mine? Why would a visitor? Price, of course. I should report you both to the foreman. But those ants are a problem. Go ahead. I won't stop you. But you're on your own.
Dead Courier Ave. More on this story as it develops. More news after this.
you don't have any questions, I have work to do. This is our salt mine, the source of the town's prosperity. You're free to look around as long as you don't take any salt or bother the miners. And whatever you do, don't head down into Section 14B. That wing is off limits. Giant ants have taken that wing over. We've lost at least one miner to them already. The foreman sent for exterminators, but they won't be here for a while. I've heard that down south, people use water as a backing for caps. That doesn't work here on account of all the snow. Even an idiot can turn that into drinking water. We use salt instead, and right now, you're standing inside an unlimited supply of salt. You can see why we've been so successful. You've been listening to the miners again, haven't you? Well, let me make this clear. The mine isn't running dry, and it never will. Got it? No, of course not. Shut up! Why not salt? It can be used to season and preserve food. More importantly, it gets rid of ice and snow. Everyone needs salt, even the superpowers, which is why they leave us alone. They don't want to risk losing their only supply of salt. Fine. This is the source of all of Portland's salt, and one of the most successful settlements in the wasteland. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. There's the mine, which you're in right now. There's also the trading hall, the barracks, and HQ. You're free to go to the trading hall whenever you want. The merchant is always looking for new customers. For your sake, don't go to HQ unless you have an appointment. The foreman doesn't tolerate anyone who wastes his time. It's safe enough. As long as the miners follow the laws and use their heads, they'll be fine. Neither. I'm an overseer. That means I handle day-to-day operations inside the mine. I also make sure everyone follows the foreman's laws to the letter. No exceptions, no compromise. He's the leader of Salt Town, a brilliant man, the architect of our success. If the others understood that, maybe they'd stop complaining about him. No, the problem is that people don't want to work for their happiness. Maintaining Salt Town's level of success requires hard work, long hours, sacrifice. But the miners don't care. They're unwilling to make that sacrifice. They don't think they should have to. So to get them to work, the foreman has to lay down laws, force them to do their jobs. The laws are strict, of course. They have to be. The miners don't like being restricted, so they blame the foreman. They call him a tyrant. Really, the only reason the laws exist in the first place is because they won't do what's needed otherwise. It was the same before the war, too. Some things just never change. That's the kicker. No one has to stay here. They can leave whenever they want, but few people do. You know why? Because deep down, They know they'll never have it as good out there as they have it here. Simple stuff mostly. Don't leave town. Don't sleep in the mine. Don't go over the allotted time for lunch. Then there are the high-level laws. No friends outside of town. No romantic relationships. That kind of thing. Mine work requires focus and discipline. Relationships, romantic or otherwise, are just a distraction. It wasn't easy. I had to work hard to get where I am. Most people don't understand that. I've been a miner all my life, even before I was a ghoul. After the bombs fell, I convinced the others to rebuild the outpost into a town. Things were going well, until the others voted to install the first foreman as leader instead of me. He was too soft, too easy on the workers. He let opportunities pass him by because they weren't right for the town. I was happy when he croaked. When the new foreman took over, he made us a trading power practically overnight. The miners didn't care though. They hated him because he wasn't nice. A group of miners led by one John Henry wanted to unite us into some kind of union so we could limit the foreman's power. I told the foreman what Henry was planning as soon as I got wind of it. Within a day, Henry was dead, his rebellion was squashed, and I was promoted to overseer. Why do you think the foreman gave me this armor? Truth be told, I don't care if I'm popular, or even if people like me. At the end of the day, I get the job done, and that's what's important. Fine. Don't touch anything.
Hey, before you go, I need to ask you something. Do you believe in freedom? Then prove it. A miner named Hawkins is being held in the trading hall for questioning. If you truly believe in freedom, then you'll help him escape. We won't talk again until it's over. Hey, before... Never mind. You can go. Good enough. A miner named Hawkins is being held in the trading hall for questioning. If you truly believe in freedom,
Oh, you're back. You did? Where is she? Oh. Well, at least I know. Here. It's not much, but it's everything I have. Thanks for the help. Not many people would have stepped up like this. That sounds like her. Always the problem solver she was. You did a good thing. Saved some lives. We were, but what does it matter now? My wife is dead. We can't exactly break the rules anymore. You're a saint. You really are. I wish someone like you was in charge.
any luck finding Hawkins yet? So, it is true. He's gone. We knew that he was probably dead. We just didn't want to believe it. You've proven that we can trust you. If you want to help more, meet us in the Mad Merchant's Cave. Don't bother ratting us out. We'll be gone before the guards get there.
So, you're the visitor who found Hawkins. Here, it's not much, but it's all I can give you in return. I'm Del Castron. You can call me Del. The quiet man leaning over the railing is Killian, and you've already met Uriel. Welcome to the Union, visitor. With your help, we may just have a shot at freedom. Once, there was a miner named John Henry. He tried to organize everyone into a union like the ones from the old world. It might have worked, but Whitehead sold them out before anyone could find out. You probably met him on the way in. He goes by Overseer Whitehead now. That's the title the foreman gave him after he betrayed Henry. He's scum, the worst kind of class traitor. He'll face justice for what he's done. Now, I told you, I'm Del. I'm a simple miner who wants to live his life in peace. That's all. A lifetime ago, I was, well, they called me a terrorist, but I preferred political activist. I fought against places like this, fought against worker inequality. My enemies were the 1%, the haves, the bourgeoisie. These were the same people who launched the nukes all those years ago. Maybe if I fought harder, smarter, the world wouldn't be like it is now. I would guess. I'll do my best to answer all of your questions. They're mercenaries, or slavers, sometimes both. The foreman hires them from out of town so that they won't have a stake in our struggle. As far as we know, Uriel's the only exception. That's the old guard, from the first foreman's time. They support us, though they'd never show it. There's only a few of them left now. The foreman has been phasing them out in favor of mercs the last few years. We call it carapace armor. The U.S. military developed it before the war. The first foreman found them in one of the bunkers we raided. We all wore them, once. But the foreman decided miners should wear these uniforms instead. At the time, it was about making it so we could be more agile while working. Really, though, it just made us less of a threat. It's always been hard, but the foreman is making it harder than it needs to be. All his rules about what we can and can't do in our personal time are draconian and unnecessary. If that wasn't bad enough, the foreman couldn't care less about us or our safety. Just look at the wing taken over by ants. Then there's his constant overmining, which will kill the town faster than any raider group could. We can't be outside after 9. We can't fall in love. We can never be alone, even in our own bunks. It's like we're living in a police state, or a prison. The foreman's been having us take too much out of the mine, too fast. It makes him more caps in the short term, but it comes at a cost. No one wants to admit it, but the mine is starting to run dry. That's why he's making us push deeper and deeper into the mine. He's getting desperate. That's easier said than done. It's hard for ghouls to make a living out there. And once you leave Salt Town, you can never come back. Another rule will have to change. Besides that, most of us helped found the town. It's our home. We won't leave it unless we have to. He's a spineless coward, a greedy bastard, and a murderer. He has to be the worst man I've ever met. The first foreman wasn't perfect, but he was fair and honest. He knew that protecting us was more important than making a profit. This new foreman doesn't value us or our labor. In his mind, we're only tools he can use to make more caps. And when we inevitably break, he'll just throw us away without a second thought. This town was a mining outpost even before the war. The working conditions were just as bad then. That all changed when the bombs dropped. The managers ran off to their bunkers and vaults, while we were forced to take shelter in the caves. Unsurprisingly, the managers had been hiding nuclear waste in the caves, turning us into ghouls. Changed, just like us. When we emerged, the world had changed forever, just like us. We rebuilt the outpost from nothing, turned it into a town, our town. We elected a foreman to lead us, not as our superior, but as our equal. Those were the good times. And then our foreman was murdered. A couple of traders came into town. Humans. They seemed fine at first, but it wasn't long until they started causing trouble. They got into a fight with the first foreman, and he died. The humans said it was an accident, but we know better now. The first foreman was killed by his successor, and he'll kill us too, if we don't stop him. All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Not at all. Before the war, unions were groups of workers that banded together to fight for our rights. Sadly, they didn't have as much power as they should have, but the idea still inspires hope. Those guards brutalized us every day. They deserved what they got. As for the miner, that was a mistake, and I'll have to live with it for the rest of my life. Yes and no. We're the only active members, but everyone in this cave is a part of the Union, whether they know it or not. Once we prove that we have a chance at making a change, the others will join us, with no hesitation. That's their decision, but when the dust settles, toleration of class traitors will end. Which one? He only joined last year, but his help has been invaluable. He was able to steal whatever we needed from the trading hall without getting caught. He was also hilarious. Could tell a joke that could split even Kaiser's sides. I wish you could have met him. Mads? No, he's not a member. I don't even think he understands what we're doing. We only come down here because Whitehead doesn't touch this place. Most guards couldn't care less about us, but Uriel's different. Even before he joined the Union, he went out of his way to help us. He even killed another guard to protect Killian. He's cagey when it comes to his past, but I trust him. He was part of John Henry's group. When Henry was found out, the guards beat Killian. Bad. His arm and leg never really recovered. He can barely work now. Not that it stops the foreman from demanding he work as hard as 5 men. If you're going to talk to Killian, be aware that he can be prickly. He doesn't mean anything by it, it's just how he is. All right. Anything else you... I'm glad you asked. We need an outside agent. Someone who can leave the town and return without arousing suspicion. Someone who has experience traveling from place to place. Someone who knows their way around a gun. Sound familiar? The power returns to the people. The workers will live better lives, and Portland will enjoy lower prices from Salttown. The satisfaction that comes with helping those in need? Of course, I can't expect you to help us on that alone. We can't give you much now, but once we're in charge of finances, you'll be well rewarded. Thank you. What we do here together will change the wasteland forever. Now, down to business. Before we can even think about an uprising, we need popular support. The foreman has all but destroyed our morale, so we need to prove that we can hurt him. The best way to do that is to interfere with his flow of caps. Josiah Greystone is a contractor the foreman hired to secure deals he can't do himself. According to one of my sources, Greystone is in the midst of finalizing a deal with a race of mutants called the Trocali. If you can make the Trocali deal go bad, everyone down here will know who's responsible, what really happened. We can use that as a springboard to full-scale revolution. I haven't met the man myself, but from what I have heard, he's a spitting image of the capitalists from the old world. That's not a good thing. Like I said, they're mutants. Humanoid lizards that thrive in the sewers. I've heard that they can fly, though that's probably just a rumor. You can, but that would draw suspicion. It'd be better if you could find some way to make it look like the deal fell apart, naturally. Simple. The Trocali are one of the few groups in Portland who don't trade with us. Making a deal with them gives us a new source of revenue. Of course, the foreman's motivations are never that straightforward. I can't possibly think of what he would want from the Trocali, though. Good. You should be able to find him here. Happy hunting.